Hello and welcome back, where we have a guide arrow by creedoww to do. I think I know the rules, but I'm going to read them to you from the guide anyway, just to be super careful about this. This is a genre where we have to shade some stuff. So we need to shade some cells on the board so that no shaded cells are orthogonally adjacent. All unshaded cells on the board form an orthogonally connected area. Unshaded cells cannot form a loop, including 2 by 2 squares. So 2 by 2 squares are called out specifically by name, but any loop. Cells with a clue cannot be shaded. And an arrow indicates the only direction in which one could begin a path to the star without going through a shaded cell or backtracking. So we're basically creating an elaborate maze that lands at the star. Some number of times ago, we did a Neuromaze, which had a somewhat similar build the maze feel to it. So hopefully we will enjoy this. So that's all. There's a link down below for you to try it yourself. And let's try it ourselves. The first thing I see is that I cannot possibly make either of these cells green, because either of them being green creates an immediate path from this arrow to the star that does not go in the direction that is claimed. And remember, as soon as a cell is gray, everything that touches it is green. Okay, likewise, this cell cannot be green because that would allow me to get a path from here to the star. That's the wrong way. So that's green. Okay, I do need a path to the star, so that's green, because I can't lock off the star so that it's not possible to get to it at all. This must be gray to keep this arrow away from the star. Otherwise, we would have issues with this arrow having a path that goes the wrong way. I cannot make this cell green, because if I do, that will create a path from this arrow to the star that does not go in the claimed direction. Likewise, now I can't make either of these cells green, because if I do, I create a path from this arrow to the star. However, there still has to be a path, so we still get this indication there. Okay, now probably all the paths are going to go the right way because of that. I can't make this cell green, and it takes a second to understand why. But if I make this cell green, let me show you what happens. I know there's a path that goes to the star by going here and following that way, or whichever way it goes. And I know there's a path that goes from the star by going that way and following whatever happens. However, because of that, I could take a path where I start at this arrow and wander backwards through this arrow and then take that path to the star, and that's a second path that doesn't backtrack or do any of the other things. I can't make two paths to the star because one of them that starts at this arrow goes the wrong way. So that's also gray. This green still has to escape. And it has to go one direction or the other. Am I sure that if this was green, it would create a similar problem? I don't think I'm sure that if this was green, it would create a similar problem, but it might. It might. I guess it would depend on exactly how this ended up working. Do I have any loops that I am at risk of creating as things currently stand? I don't think so. Oh, I see an easier thing. This can't be green because then I could take that path to the the star. I should not be able to take that path to the star. Okay, now either of these can be green, at least naively, without breaking that. They can't both be green. That would cause problems. Oh, here's a really easy thing that I should have done at the very beginning. I'm claiming that there's a path that starts here and goes only through green cells, so that's just green. That's just green, and that's just green. Can you tell I haven't done a lot of guide arrows recently? Okay, so that creates some 2x2s that I have to avoid. Like that. I cannot make this cell green now, because if I make this cell green, it will create a path. I think this was even true before. It will create a path where I go up from here to the star. I certainly can't make this gray, because then my path that goes to the star dead ends, and that's probably not a good idea. One of these two has to be black. I'm examining in my head if I know which one for sure. Oh, I do. Okay, so here's the point. This down arrow tells me that I'm never connecting to the star on this side, because if I can connect to the star on this side, which is to say if these are both green, then this arrow is lying, because I could just take that path. So I have to be able to connect to the star not on this side. In other words, one of these two is black, is just what I'm saying. And so, therefore, I need to be able to connect to the star in this direction, which means that has to be green. And also, that has to be green in order that I am able to do that. Otherwise, this doesn't connect to the star at all. And that has to be green. Otherwise, this doesn't connect to the star at all. Okay, now I have to avoid a loop. I have to avoid a 2x2. I have to keep my greens connected, and I have to avoid a 2x2, and then I have to keep my greens connected and avoid a 2x2. Now, I cannot make this cell green, or I create an incorrect path from this arrow, which I shan't do. Let's see. This being green looks... Oh, this green arrow is done. It now has its path. And so, therefore, I cannot make this green, or I'll create another path. Or if you want to think about it a different way, it would create a loop. And there's a lot of overlap, if you think about it, between the idea of two different paths that don't backtrack and a loop. So I feel like those rules are kind of saying the same thing in slightly different ways, but I think there's edge cases where they're not saying literally the same thing. So I'm not claiming there's anything wrong with the genre's rules, just that they say similar things. And so when you have one, you're often going to have the other. This can't be green, or I create a backwards path from this arrow. Okay, that can't be green because I'd have a 2x2. This arrow, how does it get to the star? It can't get to the star by wrapping around this way, because if it got to the star by wrapping around this way, that would create a problem, because then it could have gone up instead of going left. And so if you look over here, the only way that this arrow gets to the star is through here, which means that has to be green. So that's black. Following 2x2's connectedness, 2x2's connectedness. So we have all of these paths to the stars. We have to avoid creating a loop. And then we have to avoid creating a 2x2. And then we're done. Lovely intro to the genre there. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. I hope you enjoyed the genre. I know for many people, this is their favorite pencil puzzle genre. I'm not a hater. I like Guide Arrow and everything. It's not my favorite pencil puzzle genre, but it is very neat, and I like how distinct it is from other pencil puzzle genres. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a new favorite genre or near favorite genre. and I'll see you next time. Do please leave a like, recommend the channel to your friends, subscribe, even consider a comment about how awesome it is that I figured out halfway through the video that I could green the cell immediately in front of an arrow, and how exciting that was as a deduction. Or maybe perhaps let me know that you did the same thing. That would make me feel better. Or even consider a membership. We greatly appreciate those who support us financially, and it would be awesome if you did that as well. So thank you, everyone, for doing that. I'll see you next time on Invitation to Puzzles. Bye for now.